Hi guys, this is Bo. I'm the creator and developer behind UberblogCreator. In this tutorial video, we're going to go through the steps that you need to take when you want to actually run a project, be it create accounts, article upload, or article scraper module, right? So the first thing you will need to do is obviously load the blog names file and optionally load the proxies file. You'll probably want to do that. So in this case, I'm just going to load the blog names file, and we've seen how to write those files in the previous video. Not going to actually load any proxies file, but you do the same thing. You just browse it and then open the file that you wrote in the previous video. The next thing you need to do also is input the password that you're going to use. So I'm just going to write something like testing UBC123 and then do that up again. Now you do have to pick the deCAPTCHA service, even if it's manual. So if you want it to be manual, you just click here. I do not recommend manual, however, especially if you're using multi-threading, because then the windows will just stack up. Or if you're using 10 platforms at a time, and if you click manual, it's also going to stack up. So do use one of these. However, I should say that Death by CAPTCHA, at the time of recording this video, and that's December 12, 2012, I do not recommend it because it has been very unreliable lately, and it will probably be replaced in the future versions of UberblogCreator. I'm just going to put manual for now. Obviously, if you want to use any of the other deCAPTCHA services, you have to define the credentials in the settings above. Now you have three options here. The first one is grayed out because I haven't loaded any proxies file. If I had, I would be able to click this, and when you load the proxies file, this will be enabled and you need to click it in order for UberblogCreator to actually use the proxies. The second option is to confirm activation emails. You know what those are. It's the emails that you get from each one of the platforms that say, click this link to confirm your account. Not all platforms send these activation emails. If you leave this clicked and, for example, click on one of the platforms that does not send the activation emails, UberblogCreator will just ignore this option. Then you have the option of creating random blog names. This will cause UberblogCreator to ignore whatever you have specified here, whatever usernames you specified here, and just generate a random character string of about 10 characters, letters and numbers, to use that as a username. And here finally you can specify the number of blogs you want to create. This has been predefined to actually count whatever the number of usernames in your blog names file is. Finally, this is self-explanatory, is you want to check the platforms that you want to run the project on. Now here's the thing, you know that the UberblogCreator is multi-threaded. So if we define in settings 5 threads, for example, to run for each platform, or for the create account module, you should know that each one of these platforms also run in a separate thread. So if we define, like I said, 5 threads to run for the account creation module, and I click 2 platforms here, there actually is going to be 10 threads running, 5 for WordPress and 5 for Posterous. If I click Thoughts as well, it will be 15, 5 for WordPress, 5 for Posterous, 5 for Thoughts. That being said, if you click a lot of these platforms all at once and try to run them all at once, this program can become unstable, since total, if you define 20 threads in multi-threading and you click all of these here, that's 320 threads, and that's it's quite a complex task to actually register for a platform to do the sort of emulation that the UberblogCreator does. So my recommendation for you is to start off easy. Start off with one platform, see how it goes, see if you have any errors during registration. Maybe you need to fix your usernames, maybe you need to fix your blog titles, maybe you need to fix your proxies, all that kind of stuff. So that's basically it. You load the blog names file, you load the proxies file if you want, you input the password, you click whatever platform, you choose the deCAPTCHA, and you just click the run project. I'm not going to run the project right now because this is a virtual machine and the internet connection is not really good for some reason, even though it says it's good. But anyway, you just click the run project and that's it. Now for the article uploader module. A lot of people have been asking me questions about this. I thought it was clear, but apparently it was not. This right here, the little blog names file, it needs to be exactly the same, the identical file that you loaded right here, of course, after the accounts have been created. So it's exactly the same file. You don't, a lot of people ask me, what do I load here? Well, you just load whatever file you used when you created the accounts with. And just to reiterate, the accounts you load here need to be created. If they're not, UberblogCreator will simply skip over them and ignore. It will check and see if that blog account exists, and if it doesn't, it will just go on to the next one. So again, for the third time, the file that you load right here is identical to this one. It's the same file. So hopefully that's clearer now. The proxies file is also the same as the one that you loaded here. Or you don't have to use the same proxies, obviously. You can use whatever proxy file you want here. But it's again the same syntax and same everything. The articles file, we have seen how to write those in the previous video. This is the file that contains the articles that you'll want to upload. And the password for created blogs, these two fields right here, are the place where you input the password, whatever the password was here. So in this case, for the article uploader module, this password will be used to log in. So it needs to be the password of the account that you have already created. Now, as far as spinning goes, I don't know if I mentioned that in the previous video. You can definitely spin. I'm talking about this module right now. Blog titles. You cannot spin blog usernames, however, because then later on, UberblogCreator will have no idea what was the spinned version of the username to use for the article uploader module. Anyway, let's go on. So load the same blog names file, load whatever proxy file, load whatever articles file, and use the same password that you used for creating accounts. Now you have four options right here. You have the tag posts option. Once you check it, you will have this line edit or this text box enabled, and you can enter tags here for the UberblogCreator to actually tag posts that it uploads. And these are spinnable and comma separated. So you can say something like keyword 1, keyword 2, keyword 3, right? Or you could also say something like keyword 1, 2, keyword, 5, and then comma separated, keyword 6, keyword 7, whatever, it doesn't make any difference in this case. So in this case, UberblogCreator is just going to pick one of these three keywords right here, and then also one of the two keywords right here. So comma separates the keywords in that there are two different keywords, and this syntax format separates them in a way that it will pick only one of them. But if you put, like I said, keyword 1, keyword 2, UberblogCreator is going to tag both, use both keywords for a tag. So it's not just going to pick one. It only picks one when you're spinning them, which makes sense. Get rid of that. Categorize posts, it's the same thing. Not a lot of platforms support categories, but some of the important ones do, like WordPress. Exactly the same as tags. So you just input whatever categories, and same syntax. It can be spinnable and it's comma separated. Don't upload articles in order, pick articles at random. It is a useful feature of UberblogCreator, which enables you to, once you load this articles file, by default UberblogCreator is just going to upload all of them in the same order in which it was in the file. In this case, however, if you check this option, it's going to upload them at random, which can be useful, if you're adding multiple accounts on the same platform. And finally, upload a total of number articles. If you load a file with 50 articles and you just want to upload 20, you simply specify 20 here, and that's it. This is the same thing as far as platform picking goes. So you just pick one platform, or not one, whatever number of platforms that you want to upload to. Again, if you're starting off, it's a good idea to start off with one platform only and see how that goes. Now, one thing I forgot to mention both here and in the Create Accounts module, UberblogCreator has a sort of smart system of detection when it can become unstable potentially. So if two conditions are met, if you check more than 6 platforms to run at once, UberblogCreator is going to send you a warning, pop a warning message and say, hey, you have selected more than 6 platforms, are you sure you want to do that? You can proceed to run it if you want. And another thing is that if the number of threads that you have specified in the settings multiplied by the number of platforms here exceeds 20. So let me try to explain that better. If you have specified 5 threads to run for the account creation module, for example, and you specify 5 platforms here, 5 times 5 is 25, which is over 20, UberblogCreator is going to show you the same warning. If you have 5 threads defined and you select only 3, that's 5 times 3, it's 15. UberblogCreator is just going to proceed. Let me just make sure that you get it. If it does show that warning, you can still proceed with the project. It's just saying that this may be a lot of strain. Let's go to Article Scraper module. Also rather self-explanatory right here. Perhaps this isn't, but let me get to it in a second. You load the keywords file, the same file that we designed, in the previous video. Not pretty straightforward, as you've probably seen. The proxies file, whatever proxy you want, and this is where you save the scraped articles to. So this is not an open file dialog. This is a save file dialog. Do note, however, that if you name your file, for example, scraped UBC or something, UBC is not going to scrape or is not going to save to this file. It's rather going to append an underscore and say keyword. So if you have 3 different keywords like search engine optimization, SEO, and electric cars again, the first file with the scraped articles of SEO is going to say scraped UBC underscore SEO.txt. The second one will be the search engine optimization, whatever I said, and the third file is going to be electric cars, right? Now, to make it clearer, so you're going to have the same number of files as you have keywords right here. So if you have 10 keywords, you're going to have 10 files, and each one of the keywords scraped articles will be added to that specific file. So maybe a good idea to create a new folder where you're going to place the scraped articles. What's the override keyword, which is also spinnable, by the way? Well, for example, if you're just doing some sort of a test run or something, you load a keywords file with 5 different keywords, and then you decide, hey, you know what? I don't want this first keyword. I don't want to actually run this file. I just want to quickly run this one keyword, and you put SEO or something. Then UberblogCreator is going to ignore this file completely and just search for this, whatever is specified here. If you leave it empty or blank, it's not going to it's going to ignore this and going to use this file right here. DCAPTCHA service. Now, some of you have asked me, why do I have the DCAPTCHA service on the Article Scraper module? Well, that's because the 2 most popular platforms, Easy Articles and Go Articles, actually, once they detect a sort of automatic scraping, they pop up CAPTCHA. Most of them don't. I have not noticed any of these other platforms using any kind of CAPTCHA, but still I had to put this here for these 2 guys. So, like I said, just pick one of the options, the same as the Account Creator module. Articles to scrape for each keyword. So this specifies the number of articles you want scraped for every single keyword. So if you have 3 keywords here, and if your articles to scrape is 10, it's going to scrape a total of 30 different articles. Of course, if you have only selected one article directory, right? So it's kind of multiplication here. Suppose that you have 1 keyword defined. You have 1 platform defined here, and it says articles to scrape 1, it's going to scrape 1 article. If you have 1 keyword, 1 platform, and here 10, it's going to scrape 10 articles. If you have 1 keyword, 2 platforms, and it says 10 right here, it's 20, 10 times the number of article directories to scrape from. And similarly, if you have 2 keywords here, 10 articles here, and 2 platforms here, that's what, 40, so 2 times 10 is 20 times 2, 40. Hopefully that makes sense. Scrape articles at random. Kind of useful feature. By default, when UberblogCreator internally opens the search results page of that, whatever platform is used here, it's going to scrape them in order in which it was, sort of displayed. If you click this option, it's going to scrape a random, so you may scrape, the first one first, and then the 5th one, and then the 3rd, and then the 7th, and whatever. Scrape HTML with articles, also a very useful feature in my opinion. It's going to preserve whatever HTML is contained within articles. By default, UberblogCreator only extracts the text from the article, preserving, however, the line endings, or paragraph endings, so it's going to add new paragraphs. If you leave this option checked, it's going to preserve any HTML that's found within that article. Now be careful with this. It can be useful in that when you're trying to scrape along with the links and you need, those links, you need those anchor tags and anchor elements. However, even though UberblogCreator is designed that with this option on, it's going to ignore the JavaScript. It can contain some static HTML ads, and it can contain some bazillion div tags that don't do really anything and that kind of stuff. Optimized for use in UBC. Now this has been suggested to be the default option and have it, this option being do not optimize for use in UBC, but doesn't really make any difference. Anyway, if you scrape with this option off, so if you do the default thing, it's going to just scrape the text or scrape the HTML depending on this option right here. So it's just going to scrape it, and then when it scrapes a new article, it's going to add a bunch of equal signs and then say new article and then another bunch of equal signs, just for your personal reference. Now if you click this option, it's actually going to format the article in the UBC syntax. So remember from the previous video with that title and the bracket, new article, bracket, closing bracket tag. So if you want to use the articles later for UBC, leave this option on. UBC being UberblogCreator, of course. And finally, spin with Word AI. If you check this option, once UberblogCreator scripts for an article, before it actually saves it to a file, it's going to send it to the Word AI servers and try to spin it. Now, a word of warning, however, is that Word AI is kind of slow. It can take up to 60 seconds for it to actually spin an article. So be patient if you check this. Obviously here you have the ability to select whatever platforms you want to scrape the articles from. Okay, that's it guys for this video. In the next video I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to run UberblogCreator and how to make it work the best for you. Also going to explain some of this stuff here, and that's it. Like I said, thank you for watching.